Alright everyone, welcome to our first episode of In Cama with Manny, el show donde hablamos sin filtros desde la cama about life, pop culture, y todo lo demás. I'm your host Manny, your new internet bestie, or your favorite overshare buddy, and maybe even your favorite new tóxico. One thing that you could expect cada semana is me going from one topic to another. There's no exact format of this podcast. I could just talk about anything in regards to the LGBTQ plus community, a book, some dumb thing that I saw online, prompts. I will also be asking questions, giving you guys some themes per episode, just so we will have a mix of variety. And also, I want to talk to you with you guys. I just want to see what are you guys thinking, and also how we are going to build up this community. I'm that one friend who's always going to have some chismecito on the side. I'll probably give you some advice, even though sometimes, to be honest, I should be taking my own advice. But as a Libra, Scorpio Libra that I am, it's complicated, I want to say. Pero antes de comenzar, let me tell you a little bit about me. My name is Manny. I am 26 years old. I live in Denver, Colorado. And the reason why I wanted to start this podcast was just to vibe with people. I know that sometimes people don't go out. Sometimes people just are a little bit socially awkward like I am. And I just wanted to create a space where we all just connect. A little fun fact about me, I do drag. I'm a drag performer. I am known as the Prep Queen of Colorado. I've been doing drag for 10 years. And also, I am a huge believer in HIV awareness, and I am a huge advocate when it comes to those type of things. And with that being said, les voy a hablar de una cosa que a mí me gusta mucho, which is audiobooks. I love audiobooks. I love podcasts. My favorite genre is this podcast called Relatos de la Noche. It's a really good podcast. I get shivers every time I listen to them. One thing that I love is horror. I love horror. And I am a person who has those, like, I get the heebie-jeebies, I guess. And whenever I watch those videos, I get too into that world of the stories. My favorite Relatos de la Noche story is called Posesión Familiar. Would highly recommend it if you speak in Español. It's my favorite relato. One of the best. But one of my hyperfixations, I want to say, that I am obsessed with is the Hunger Games. I am a nerd when it comes to books like that. I love dystopian books. I recently read Sunrise on the Reaping, and that book is so sad. And I felt like we really needed that book in order to understand where Haymitch came from. I'll be honest, I have seen the leaks and I have seen the cornucopia pictures that have leaked, and I just know that after filming, the production is going to be top tier. And the actors and their outfits, it looks like it's going to be a very interesting quarter quell. Alright, with that being said, let's talk about hobbies. One of my hobbies is music. I love music. One of my favorite singers is Marina. Princess of Power is one of the best albums yet, since Ancient Dreams in a Modern Land and Love and Fear. I love those albums, but for me, the best albums are Fruit, Electro Heart, Princess of Power. The Family Jewels is top tier. I love that album. I have heard maybe almost all the demos of it. I love... One of my favorite songs from Princess of Power is... what is it called? It's Metallic Stallion and also Je ne sais quoi. I Love You is my favorite song to just get pretty in because I do drag. Me gusta maquillarme. I love to get all dolled up. And that song just makes me feel so spicy. One of my favorite albums from Marina is Fruit. I know everyone loves Electro Heart, but for me, Fruit is one of the best albums. I got into Electro Heart once Lies and Electro Heart the music videos were being released. After that, I was fully on the Fruit era campaign, I want to say. And since then, I've been such a fan. Another one of my favorite artists is Lana Del Rey. Lana Del Rey is such an icon and such a poetic, deep person that every time I listen to one of her songs, I'm like, wow, not me. It's not my lifestyle, but okay, she's a baddie. And for some reason, I'm like, she has hung out with a lot of Latinos, but who knows? She's she's herself. One of my favorite songs from hers is "If You Lie Down with Me," and also Ocean Boulevard is my favorite song because it's just so thematic. It's just so sad. Let the Light In is one of my favorite songs too. Blue Banisters is highly slept on. So if you have any songs that you want to recommend me that maybe I have not heard, comment them away. Those are two artists that I would love to see. I did see Marina during the Neon Nature tour, and it was the best. That was my first ever concert. I had so much fun. I wish I would have savored all the moments and all the songs because it was such a conceptual album. And Lana Del Rey, I have not had the pleasure of going to one of her concerts, but maybe one day I will. Who knows? If she'll ever release a new album. I wish she would have toured Ocean Boulevard and Blue Banisters though. Those were the best. Other artists that I like are Chiqui Rivera, Jenny Rivera, and also Gloria Trevi. Gloria Trevi, my mom has been such a fan of. I love Me Siento Tan Sola, Con los Ojos Cerrados, Todos Me Miran. Basically, her entire discography is just, it's art. My mom is one of the reasons why I started drag. So, like any Gloria Trevi song that you hear, like Todos Me Miran, El Favor de la Soledad, Pruébamelo, are songs that were her favorite. Oh, and Juan Gabriel, Selena. Those are artists that I really love, and I always try to incorporate Latino artists with American artists in my drag because I love the whole variety of it because you have multiple choices of any type of performances, and also each language song has such a value and such a story behind it, especially music that's in Spanish. There's so much passion, there's so much love in it that you think to yourself, man, am I in a telenovela or something like that? But that's just me. All right, chicos, chicas, and chicas, let's get into the topic, the main reason we're here. But before we do that, just make sure that you get your fresh cup of water, your cafecito, your cup of tea, or in some cases, your little naughty drink, if you're 21 plus or 22 plus. I don't know the age for alcohol. But let's get into it. The good, the bad, the situations that will make you say nunca más, which means nevermore. What is your best or worst date stories? ¿Cuáles son tus mejores, peores citas que has tenido? Alright, so how this main segment works is I will send out a prompt per episode. Every episode will have a theme. It could be from dating to music to pop culture to my thoughts in general, or just ranting, or maybe even a Q&A at some point. So I will read them, give you my answers, my thoughts and opinions, maybe a little consejo every now and then we will move on. And after that, we're gonna vibe. Alright everyone, let's get to the first submission, which is anonymous. It says, never date a coworker. Alright. I dated a coworker who was figuring himself out. I didn't care because we had chemistry and fun. Plus, I got to be his first guy, which was hot at the time. I've always been a discreet guy, even though I'm out. So I didn't care that our relationship was clandestine. And plus, we never put a label on it. Just two guys having fun. Okay. Fast forward a few months later, I found out he was telling his friends and coworkers that I had a weird obsession with him and was making him feel uncomfortable. We talked about it and he said it was all a misunderstanding. We were still having fun and I was f***ing him a couple nights a week. So I figured it was a weird way of coping and downplayed it in my head. Fast forward a few months later, he pressed some assault charges against me. A police investigation found nothing, and I immediately felt petty and dropped some pretty damning receipts that everything between us was consensual. But I still got fired from my job. and I'm dealing with all the legal ramifications of the incident despite this being 3 years ago. He claimed he was dealing with mental health issues, got paid out by the company we were with, and never answered for his lies. Life, I guess. Damn. Damn. I just want to say I hope you're doing well, and high key, I really hope this guy ends up getting his karma, because what he did to you is so messed up. And good for you. I mean, I'm not someone who is high and mighty, and I'm not the type of person who's like, I'm a little bit petty, I will say. So the fact that you did that and post your receipts is a good thing for you, because it makes him look like a liar. And I honestly don't know what to say. I hope you're doing well, and I hope you're coping. And this is such a serious thing that is a big issue in the work industry, and I just wish nothing but the best for you and this guy. I hate to say this, but he is probably ugly. Alright, let's go to our next submission. And it says, I dated a guy who didn't actually like me, and he made it very obvious. Multiple times, actually. He would describe what his type was, and point out that I wasn't it. He wanted a wealthy foreign man with a big welcoming family, and an even bigger I unfortunately do not check any of those boxes. He would follow that up with how he chose to be with me. I was very clearly delusional. He was also a clean freak. I never clean enough for him. Living space or body. It got to the point where I was taking 2 showers a day because he hated my natural scent. Of course, he loved his ex's natural scent, so it was just a principle. It was me specifically. He would constantly make comments about me smelling. He always criticized how I kept my place, which he moved into because he was having a roommate trouble and had nowhere else to go. A few times, he'd talk about crushes he had on other guys, which probably wouldn't have bothered me under different circumstances. But I guess he knew he didn't really want me, so I was always suspicious about whether he was cheating. Okay. Anyways, we took a trip to New York City together. The trip kind of sucked, partially because I couldn't be there the whole time because of work, and partially because of his circumstances of me that weren't really warranted. About a week after this trip, he had finally found a new place. His stay with me was always intended to be temporary. I helped him move his stuff in. I was at work when he finished moving the last of his stuff. After finishing, he came to my job and dumped me. Needless to say, this destroyed me, my confidence and self-esteem. Still, not completely past it almost 2 years later. Unfortunately, I seem to be good at attracting guys that will never truly love me. I know how this feels. One, if you are with someone who clearly doesn't like you, it is always very obvious, because he will always judge how you look, the shape, your color, your youth in my case. To have a welcoming family, I understand that, because that is a dream, to have a welcoming family that will accept you and love you. And I understand that some people are size queens, but it's just very messed up for you to judge something on something that no one can control. No one can control the size of their how they're born, and those circumstances. It's just so stupid. I'll be honest with you, I was with someone who always made it a point to say, oh, I'm attracted to a certain body type, and no hate towards anyone. This is just my experience. He would always say, "Oh, I'm attracted to some white European cute small twink," which for me, I am I am a Mexicano who is 5'4". I am not a twink. I used to weigh 217 pounds. And that really messed me up. I already had body dysmorphia because of my weight loss and my experience through bullying, and being told that you're not the ideal person for that specific person is very messed up, and it made me feel like shit, and it made me hate myself, my body, the way I looked to its fullest potential. But I'm still struggling with it, and I also realize that everybody has their own type, and it really sucks when you're not that. And that's one of the things that I really dislike about the community is we're the type of people that will fight for the rights, that we will cry for inclusivity and body positivity, yet we ourselves don't practice that. And I hope you know that it's okay to love yourself, and it's okay to be a person of a certain size, a certain skin color, a certain nationality. You don't have to be the stereotypical Twinkie guy. You don't have to be the stereotypical buff guy, because not everyone's like that. And I just hate how you have to be a certain way. You have to look a certain way and look a certain. You have to be very hot. That's what I'm trying to say. And it's not just that. I don't know if I'm explaining myself right, but you don't have to be a certain height, weight, or nationality to be the perfect guy or the hottest gay guy or whatever it is that you identify as. It will take a long time to like certain parts about yourself. And this guy sounds like he smells like ass. And if I was there and I was your best friend, I would have told him off. I'm like, bitch, I don't know who you're talking about, especially if you don't match all of these qualities. Sometimes these people suck. And he was cheating, he probably was. And I'm so sorry that you had to go through that. It's so unfair. I was made to feel like I was the biggest disgusting thing. And I never realized that I had those issues until I started comparing myself to those twinkie, white, maybe tall or short guys when I went out. I felt so insecure, and that's something that I still struggle with. And I just want you to know that you are perfect the way you are. If you want to change certain things, go ahead, but just make sure that you do it for you, and don't do it for some dumb person who has stupid beliefs and has a stupid way of seeing certain people. Like, don't base your hotness around someone's ridiculous expectations. This is what I mean, like when I say men ain't because honestly, men ain't the cutest men sometimes are the biggest machistas. I have met some certain cute guys that are they're the best. Like, for me, they're hot, but I like their personality. And I'm so sorry that you went through that. And I hope that you know you're an amazing person. And I would highly advise you to talk about this with your therapist. Tell him or her, the struggles that you're going through, because if you don't address them, they'll eat at you. And I'm glad that you're I don't know if I read this correctly, but you're going to therapy, which I'm so happy for you if you are. If you're not, please go to therapy and talk and get this resolved. And I hope you find the guy that will love you, appreciate you, and will not have such certain expectations of you like that, which are stupid. Because I bet you that your ex, I hope he's your ex, I bet you he does not match any of that description. But sending you much love. I love you and I hope you're doing well. All right, so we're gonna finish off with Chris, and his story states, I met this guy on Grindr. Super charming, very sexy, very mask for mask, which is my type. And he told me he was finally ready to settle down, which I was too. Was it bold? It was. But we planned a dinner date. He picked me up in a shiny SUV that smelled like cologne and car freshener. But I noticed that at dinner, he was acting nervous. He was always checking his phone almost every 5 minutes and saying things like, sorry, church drama. And you ever feel like your calling is complicated? I don't know about you, but I kind of felt a little bit of a cult vibe. I should have known. Halfway through the date, he confesses, not softly, that he's been rehearsing this in the mirror. Which is, okay, weird. I need to tell you something. I'm married. I'm a pastor. And I have 3 kids. I'm sitting there blinking, totally confused with what's going on, until he grabs my hand across the table and goes, but when I saw you, I felt something more. I think it was the Holy Spirit. I didn't know whether to laugh or cry, or Vamo request him for wasting my time. But it gets worse. We get back in the car, and I'm ready to go home. I'm sweating bullets now, face turning red. He whispers, my wife thinks I'm leading a prayer group, and I am, in a way. Suddenly, he lets out the tiniest grunt. I turn to him, then silence. Then a smell. A strong, undeniable, sinful smell. He himself in his leather seats while trying to look at me in the eye and say, this doesn't usually happen. It's the spiritual pressure. I got out of the car so fast that I almost tore my jeans. He sped off the windows, cracked, seat heater still on. Later that night, he blocked me on Grindr, but not before I got a screenshot. The bio still said, looking for something sacred. I'm looking for a spiritual pressure? Is that what it said? Oh, it's the spiritual pressure. That is some DL that I keep telling you guys about. Well, that I always talk about with my friends. If you're trying to date someone on Grindr, I mean, okay, for a man to just take you on a date and then start talking about church stuff and making everything sounds like it's rehearsed, and then all of a sudden drop a bomb at you that he's married and has kids and he's leading a prayer group. You DL guys are so confident because I know that I would not be able to do that. And for you to and say that it was the spiritual pressure is, I have no words. Dude, you and I mean, you in the leather seats. Talk about a sinful smell. That's disgusting. I mean, it's kind of funny, I'm not gonna lie, but it's also kind of sad because you have these religious people, not even religious people, you have these DL men who are around with other gay men. And I understand the whole religion part and the whole shamefulness that comes with it, and the fact that you can't really be yourself, but dude, you have kids and you have a wife, you're a pastor, and you're trying to get serious with someone else while being married. You guys just messed me up. Alright guys, so that'll do it for this episode. I just wanted to have a little introduction, see how everything will come to a flow, and thank you guys so much for sending your few submissions. I will leave this theme out for a while. I'm going to leave it on my highlights and pin it. So if you guys have more stories you guys would like to share and submit, I will be reading them and bring some up for future topics. And also, if you guys have any questions, feel free to comment it. I will answer them. Thank you guys so much. I look forward to the next episode, and thank you guys so much. And I hope to see you guys in another episode of In Cama with Manny. See you soon.